Hey guys, Stellar Christoph here for another Elestrals video, and today I'm going to take you guys back in time. So, November 15th to December 9th, we had Kickstarter, our Elestrals Kickstarter. You were able to fund the project for, I think it was about 24 days. Then later on in November 2023, we got the physical product. It was the first time we had actual base set in-house. We did have starter decks that they created. They were prototype starter decks long before that, but Elestrals, as we know it now, came out in November 2023. So, in celebration of the Kickstarter that we should be getting in the next month or so, I am recording this video in late February. So next month in March, we'll get our physical product. We'll get all the booster boxes that we ordered, and then the brand new Kickstarter promo pack. So in celebration of that, we're going to go over the original promo pack. Again, this one you could sign up for from November to December of 2022, and then we did get this in June 2023. 27 cards in this, which was really cool. And the way you added more cards to this, I think there was a set number. I forget how low it was. But for every tier, every goal we met, I should say, we were able to add more and more cards to that. As you guys know, the Kickstarter raised $1.4 million. At the time, that was the highest any Kickstarter has ever done. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go through these. Right off the bat, you guys are going to see the number one card in Elestrals, the Stellar Bunny. That is one of the cards in this. Again, 27 cards in this pack, and it's not a small pack, guys. Like, that is not a skinny pack at all. So we will go all through all these cards. There is no pack trick. We're just going to go in order from start to finish. Starting off with the Stellar Pandason. The colorations is the exact opposite. Normally it's like a completely orange brown, and it's got a green mask on it. 1/4, it is 1 cost Earth. You can disenchant Earth from this Pandason in order to return Invoke Rune from your Underworld Chica hand. So a lot of people that were running Earth decks would toss one or two of these in there, grab their Earthquake back, go ahead and cast it. You can bring back Ambrosia, whatever you need to keep the match going. Next up, sad boy, it is Sparkit. Sparkit was the first card ever banned from Elestrals. It is a Thunder, which, as you guys know, I am a Thundercaster. 4 attack, 1 defense, Nexus up to 2 Thunder. When you do, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard a card from it. The reason why this was banned is because of the look effect. It'd be different if it was just a random card expender, but the fact that you're looking at the hand every turn, whatever strategy they're starting, you can go ahead and take that. Unless it was a rune that they hurry up and played face down, Elestral they hurried up and played. This bricked a lot of people, so again, it made the gameplay not fun, so they went ahead and banned this card. Next up, we're going to have the Full Art Viserys. I'm still waiting to get this as a Stellar. I do think it's going to happen one day. I really hope it does. But this thing is cool. You actually can see there's 2 of them fighting on the card. But this Viserys gains +1 attack for each Viserys on the field. That includes your opponent. When this Viserys destroys an Elestral in battle, special cast a Viserys from your hand or deck in defense position. So this card became almost unstoppable when you had all 3 on field because they were all 7 attacks. You do have cards now like Cryoblast that destroy anything that has a 2 defense or less, but Elestrals did go ahead and they limited this card 2 per deck. That way you can still get 2 6s out, but again, you're not swarming the board with 3. There was a scenario that you could do that you could play your Viserys, attack, destroy, cast the next one, alter stars into attack mode, and then bring out the 3rd one. So again, they cut it down to 2. I do think that was the right decision. We'll see in the future if they change that. There are enough cards now that we're in set 4 that out this card or help you at least get over it. And next up is the Full Art Pandason. As you guys did see the Stellar already. I'll be interested to see if this one does get a Full Art Stellar down the road, even if it's a promo card. But you guys can see the coloration is orange, and then it does have a green mask. It's like a green leaf mask. Next up is Sorlet. Probably the second most popular of all these cards. 5 attack, 1 defense. You can expend wind in order to change the position of Elestral unless it is wind enchanted. So you can't use it against other wind cards. But again, 5 attack, you can hit over almost anything. Ash Rabbit was a number 1 card you could use this against because it has a 5 defense. Sorlet it into attack mode, attack over it. The 1 defense does kind of suck, but at the same time, you can't make it completely OP. It needs to be 2 or less. That way other cards can out it, and it needs to be weak somehow in the gameplay. Next up is, like I said, the number 1 card in Elestrals, Ash Rabbit, and it's the Stellar Bunny, the Black Bunny. 2 attack, 5 defense. When this Astro receives 1 or more Thunder, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 to your hand, shuffle the rest back into your deck. When we do get our next set of promo cards, we are getting a full art version of this, and it is stellar, so that's super exciting. Circle the Sky V2. The V1 is Tyrantalus Leviathan. This one is your Vipyro and your Zaptor, which again, me being the Thundercaster, I love seeing this card. Next is 2. If you do, draw a card. We got Wormite. Honestly, a really underrated card. It is a 3 attack, 1 defense, so it's super weak. But on your turn, this thing is a beast. You can target an opponent's Celestial and give it -4 attack until the end phase. So this thing will crash with a 7, beat anything that's underneath it. Add that to Zeus or Demeter to either buff this Wormite or lower your opponent's Elestrals. Again, almost unstoppable in that exchange. Full Art Voltempest. Sadly, Voltempest still doesn't get a lot of play just because you need Zeus to be on field to protect it. But you guys can see you do have Voltempest right there. It's got a baby Elechick. Zeus is riding its back, and there's also a Peliquarius right there. But this card, you can disenchant a Thunder or Wind from it to make your opponent expend 3 spirits, so they're going to burn for 3. And as long as Zeus is on the field, this card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So, you know, you guys have cards like Kinleo that can pop an Elestro. You have Earthquake, Resting on Your Laurels. Those cards will not work against this. The main out to this is Shield of Achilles. Because if I attack, Shield does not target, which would bounce it back to my hand, and then you wasted all those spirits to get it out. Full Art Cracking. Again, a card that isn't played that often. In my opinion, a really cool card. If you can get it off, it's going to be an amazing card. But when you cast this Cracking, you can target up to 2 unoccupied slots in your opponent's Celestial row. Those Celestial slots cannot be used as long as this Cracking is enchanted. So there is a set of combos you can try to do. Get this out. You're going to block 2 of the monster zones so they can't play them. And then if you can out the last one, ascend into the second Cracking, your opponent can't even play any Elestrals. Which would pretty much end the game right there, but it's such a hard combo to get out. And again, you have cards like Resting on Your Laurels, you have cards like Earthquake that would out it. So again, not a combo you see very often. I would love to see it pop off though. Imagine shutting off the entire front row so your opponent can't even play any cards. You got the goodest of boy, Racerus. Again, an undervalued card. People give this card a lot of hate. I did play it 2 Premier events ago, and it actually did win me a couple games. 2 attack, 4 defense, so overall pretty weak. As long as this Racerus is enchanted, Elestrals cannot attack the turn they are cast unless they have Thunder enchanted. So again, you can get this out turn 1, your opponent can't attack the next turn. If you have a way to out that Elestral, every turn they're going to be behind, and it's easier for you to set up your field and set up whatever combos you want to do. Boombat, probably in the top 5 cards of this pack that people play. Just a pure destruction card. It is a 2/1, so super weak. You can disenchant Thunder from this Boombat in order to target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. That is any Elestral, it does not matter how strong. Again, it is targeted. So number 1, if they say they can't be targeted like Voltempest, this card's not going to work. And then at the same time, you can disenchant the Thunder. If your opponent hits Gorgon's Gaze at that point, this card shuts off, and then you also lose the Elestral. Drataya, the second card to ever be banned from Elestrals. In my opinion, shouldn't have been banned. There are other cards that was paired up with this that should have been banned, in my opinion. But Drataya was the reason you're able to do those combos. There was a 1-turn knockout move that you could do is get the Drataya on field, use multiple Ambrosias to draw cards, and then it was to play your Waspire. Go ahead, you're basically going to load a bunch of spirits on it and then burn your opponent, win the game. So I think some people were able to win, I think, turn 2 of the game. Turn 2, turn 3. But because this is the card that started that entire chain, this is the reason why it was banned. But 2 attack, 4 defense, 1 cost Earth. When a player casts the Ambrosia, you can draw 2 cards. So you're going to have 3 Ambrosias in most of your deck, so you're going to draw 6 cards. And then also there's a card called Ambrosia Cornucopia that they made that would give you an additional 3 Ambrosias in your deck because it is a title. So you'll be able to draw a total of 12 cards with this guy's effect. Glidesdale. Another card that's a little underrated. 7 attack, 5 defense, so it's not bad at all. You can expend win in order to give this Glidesdale plus 5 attack, so it's going to be a 12 at that point. And then as long as it's empowered by Aramir's effect, it can attack twice in the battle phase. So again, using multiple combos, 2 cards to do that combo, it's just not the best card in the world. If you're able to get it pop it off, you're going to do great. But again, it's very far and few between the people actually got that combo off. So it's just not a card you see played that often. Foamy, super good card. Again, but the way Elestrals is at now, especially with set 4, there's a lot of ways to get over this card's effect. But it is a 2 attack, 3 defense. When this Foamy is destroyed in battle, you can special cast an Elestral with enchantment cost 1 water from your deck in defense position. So a cool thing about this, that Elestral can be misenchanted. So for instance, me, I love Sonicor. Sonicor is one of my favorite Elestrals of all time. It is a 2-cost Thunder. I could always play Foamy, let it be destroyed, cast, say, a Moss Station that has a 6 defense, Thunder enchant it, so it can't use its effect. Next turn, ascend into Sonicor. But you have cards like Spectaris that suppresses. You have cards like Gorgon's Gaze that suppresses. Dense Fog, for instance, would be another card. And then also just your destruction cards. You have Cryoblast wouldn't work unless you lowered this card, but you have cards like Earthquake resting on your laurels, Boombats. Any number of cards that cause destruction would shut this effect off. Next up, you got Tadpuff, the cutest little boy. 1 attack, 1 defense. It is literally the weakest card in the game, but the effect makes it worth it. You can expend water in order to special cast this Tadpuff from your hand in attack position with water. So it has to be properly enchanted, but you pair this card up with a Draking or a Cracking, able to ascend that same exact turn. If you're an opening hand to a degree, you could ascend into a 2-cost if you had the right cards in hand. Floor Mine. So when the Founder set came out and this promo pack came out, Frost was obviously thought of, but it was not played because there was no cards. There is one more card that you will see that is Frost that technically you could play, but Frost didn't come out until set 2, which is Frostfall. You guys can see the blue box above me right there. Frostfall came out set 2. It came out a little bit later than they wanted to. It was slightly behind, but again, Elestrals at that time being such a new company, obviously things are going to happen. But this was our very first introduction to Frost, and Floor Mine is the Frost Spirit of Elestrals. Next up, you got Kinleo. I was going to say I love the purple fire on this card. This looks great. But this is a Nexus card. So every element does have a designated Nexus Elestral. You guys already saw it with Spark that was Thunders before Magnaros came out. This was Fires. And Fire does actually have 2 because they added Exalt Flare to the mix. But you can Nexus up to 2 Fire. When you do, target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. So on its own, very weak card. If you can protect it and keep Nexusing every single turn, you can just destroy your opponent's field. Ramagem. Again, a very, very undervalued card in Elestrals, in the Earth package. It is a 2-cost, or is a 1-cost, 2 attack, 3 defense. When you normal cast this Ramagem, you can search your deck for an Elestral with enchantment cost Earth and add it to your hand. That's going to be your Viscerus, that's going to be your Inklinks. At the time, that was your Drataya. A lot of people now will add this into their Waspivy deck so they can search their Psynectar. Not a bad card. Again, weak stats, I get it, but able to search for that card that you need to pop off for that combo. Very good card to have. Next up, you have Veritaqua. Again, super strong card on your turn, but on your opponent's turn, it's just a weak body, 3 attack, 1 defense. When this Veritaqua enters battle within a defense position Elestral, you can negate the Elestral's effect and destroy it. If you do, this Veritaqua deals no damage this battle. So pretty much if they have a Moss Station in defense, if they have now Armadon, for instance, is a 6 defense, if they have any defense position Elestral, Veritaqua automatically destroys it in battle. Pair that up against, say, a Pantera, which has a 15 attack and 8 defense. Go ahead and use Tsunami, switch it to defense, or now the newest card, Tsunami High Tide, which you can control on your turn. Go ahead, switch that opponent's card to defense, use Veritaqua, automatically destroy it. We have Ignector. This card popped off in a tournament a couple weeks ago, I think it was, 2-3 weeks ago. It is a weaker card, don't get me wrong, but when you normal cast this Ignector, you can special cast up to 2 Ignectors from your hand or deck in attack position with fire. If you do, you must skip your next battle phase. So turn 1, if you got this, swarm the field. If you had Tsunami, Gorgon's Gaze, something to protect it, you could mass ascend it into something. You could ascend it once. It does have an ascension called Waspire, which if you take disenchant the fire off of it, you can burn your opponent for 2. At the same time, if you can get all 3 out, Even if one gets destroyed the next turn, you can ascend siphoning off of one of them to play Trifernal. You can go ahead and Misenchanted Pantera, whatever you want to do. It's really good to get a big body out if you can protect them and if you play it early enough. Or at least as long as the opponent doesn't have anything on their Celestial row. Next up, you got Earth Scout. They did give us all the bears in this pack, which was really cool. When this Earth Scout is destroyed in battle, you can special cast a Ursa Elestral, a bear Elestral, that costs 1 spirit from your hand or deck. So at this time, there are 3 of them. You will see all 3 in a row. All the boys stick together, so you're going to see the entire line right now. Earth Smog, 2 attack, 3 defense. You can expend fire in order to special cast a bear Elestral that costs 1 spirit from your hand. Again, able to kind of swarm the fields, get all the bears to work together. Earth Seer, this is probably one of the top 2 bears next to Bomber Ursa. But this is a 3 attack, 1 defense. When this Earth Seer destroys an Elestral in battle, special cast a bear Elestral that costs 1 spirit from your hand or deck. So you could partner this up with the Bomber Ursa I just mentioned. Earth Seer destroys an Elestral. A Bomber Ursa comes out. A Bomber Ursa gets +2 attack for every other bear on field. And then you got Mama Bear herself, the Majursa. 12 attack, 12 defense, so super strong. Another card you technically could pair with that Nectar combo we mentioned. But this Majursa gets +2 attack for each other Ursa Elestral on field. Your Ursa Elestrals that cost 1 spirit cannot be attacked and cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. So again, once Mama Bear comes out, she's going to protect her cubs. There is a counter rune that came out as well called Don't Poke the Bears, which will also help this entire scenario. Anytime they enter in battle, you give them +4 attack and +4 defense. Only for that one turn, but again, super good card. Next up, you're going to have Hydrake. This is just a promo card. It's not a stellar. I do like how it's purplish, though. Hydrake is all white normally, but I do like how it looks almost purple. And this one actually says, thank you for supporting Kickstarter 2022. So this was a thank you card. There's also a card called Nimbug. When you got the original prototype starter decks, they came with this as well, and it said thank you for supporting Elestrals. But this says, thank you for supporting the Kickstarter 2022. When this Hydrake is destroyed in battle, you can special cast a Twindra from your hand or deck in attack position. The Hydrake line is super strong. You want the first 2 to be destroyed so you can bring out the Pantera, bring out the Hydra. But again, it's just very expensive deck to use. And the last card is Chillalotl. This was the very first Frost card we ever got. It is the last card in this bundle. When you cast this Chillalotl, you can target up to 2 face-down runes. As long as Chillalotl is enchanted, the targeted runes cannot be cast. So if they don't counter you immediately when you cast this, you're going to shut off their back row, basically. But again, 2 attack, 3 defense. Overall, it's just a weak card. But that's your promo pack, guys. That is your Founders promo pack. Again, we're actually going to be getting a different Founders promo pack in the next month. It does have a bunch of brand new cards. When we do get those cards in mail, we will do a whole nother video and I will showcase all those cards. But at least for me personally, of all these cards that we got, I do love that Hydrake. I'm not going to lie, I never noticed that it said thank you for supporting Kickstarter. I got to look at my other ones, but I think that's really cool that they added that. Of all these cards, the ones me personally that I'm happy about, getting that next Foamy. I think I only have 2 of the Stellar Foamy, so I'm super excited about that. Getting my boy Racerus and Boombat. Again, I'm a Thundercaster, so all for that. We did get ourselves the Sorlet and the Viscerus. 2 awesome cards, super strong cards. And of course, you guys will see by the thumbnail, the #1 card in this set is going to be your Ashed Rabbit. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys all have a stellar day.
Crashing fires awake with every breath. The winds of change are